blast from the past, to be honest with you, because I know if anybody who was in a coma since 1990, they'll wake up and be like, "We won 6 Super Bowls, and I missed them all." I'm back to this. This is the same team that I had before I went in the coma. No Sky Zolak.
He was the guy in '92, by the way, that got them their 2 wins at 2-14. He was
Yeah,
two
I
and
know.
two.
I remember they were excited like Sky Zolak could be the future of this team. They draft Drew Bledsoe. And they go get Bledsoe from Washington State. You know what I mean? Like he could be the future, the future backup.
And do you know who the debate was? Drew Bledsoe and who?
Trent Dilfer? Was this the Dilfer draft?
The Notre Dame.
Rick Meyer?
That was the coin flip.
Rick Meyer was a big name, though.
That was the big decision. Was it going to be Meyer or Bledsoe? And they chose Bledsoe.
And the craziest thing is Rick Meyer got a better situation in Seattle. He had Pro Bowl receivers in Seattle. I think he had Landry. I think he had Largent late, didn't he?
He had Largent. Yeah,
he had Largent late in his career. He had Brian Blades. He had one of my favorite running backs, Chris Warren, that people don't talk about enough. Chris Warren was a bad man, especially all my Tecmo Bowl lovers. Y'all know Chris. You had to go get your Chris Warren on real quick because Seattle was a quite sneaky team on that game. So yeah, but that's a good trip down memory lane. And we just did that because this game ain't got much to talk about. Let's keep it real. We are tanking in New England right now. And you know what? Belichick made that little scowly face because he wants to win, but he's already been told up top, no. You're not winning no more. I want my quarterback. I want my number one quarterback. I want my top 5 quarterback. I'm not settling for your second rounders anymore. I'm not settling for one of Nick Saban's 7-year seniors anymore. No. Kraft damn near drafting the player himself. I'm keeping it real. You know what I mean? Kraft already knows who he wants. And that's why he like, no more winning. So since there's no more winning, Jeff, and, I could really go on all day about the Chargers, but that's what Bolt reports about on my show. So, Staley, we know that if you lose this game, don't even get on the plane, bro. You might as well resign right there at the press conference, dude, because you are getting fired straight up. I'm going to tell you like this. The Chargers are going to give this guy a chance not to lose 8 games before, it's too late. You know what I mean? Because right now we are pretty much 1 game away from the Chargers season being over. 1 loss away, okay? Because nobody gets in at 9-8 this year for the playoffs on the AFC. But I'm just being very honest here. So this is a must-win game for the Chargers. I don't see the Chargers having issues here, Jeff. I'm taking the -6. It's not much to talk about here. Staley, your job is on the line. Bill Belichick, you already know you are already looking for houses in D.C. from what Jeff is saying.
He has just destroyed this whole situation where the team didn't know who was the starting quarterback till Sunday morning, and the true conspiracy theory here, Pops, is the fact that Mac was never his guy. Sitting at the 12 spot was the Dallas Cowboys, who took his guy, Micah Parsons. So they didn't move up to the 9 spot to draft Justin Fields. Chicago made the trade with Denver. And the fact of the matter is Bledsoe fell into his lap. We know Bill and Saban are, ebony and ivory. They're tied at the hip here, and the fact of the matter is, the rest is history. Mac Jones was never Belichick's guy, and Mac Jones was the only quarterback drafted in that class that made it to the playoffs. So what does Bill do? He brings in 2 coaches in Matt Patricia and Joe Judge and sabotaged them. And so he is basically throwing the middle finger up to Kraft and says, well, if I'm going to sink, so are the Patriots, and Mac was your guy. Jimmy G was Belichick's guy, and they made him trade him. So the bottom line is they're sinking with the Titanic. I don't know who's starting. Mac Jones, Bailey Zappi. I'd bring in Malik Cunningham for the last 4 or 5 weeks. They Will Greer they released him. Go pick him back up. Have some fun with this. I bought the hook. Chargers -5.5, and I feel for Herbert. But I will say this: watching that game on Sunday, and listen, the Ravens D is fantastic, but it's not Ray Lewis fantastic. It's not the '85 Bears fantastic, but they're good. But the only weapon that Justin had was Keenan Allen. What do you have? 15 targets, 14 completions. Quentin Johnson's not the answer. Guyton's not the answer. Gerald Everett had a few catches, but they need weapons. I would fire Staley after this week, win, lose, or draw. I'd give Kellen Moore the last 6, 7 games, but they won't do that either. Give me the Chargers -5.5 pups.
And I know you're not going to want to hear this, Jeff. The reason why they're not going to do it is because this Staley and Spanos are cool. He's a company man. That's what people have to understand. He follows the order of the rank. That's why he's still coaching the team. And the Chargers have this idea that they can still go, that they can cheat and go 6-0 because they're good enough to do it. That's the thing. But it's not going to happen because they're too middling. And that's what it is. And people just have to understand. I told you guys already, the moment that they lost their 6th game, this is a 9-8, 8-9 team. It's that simple. Okay. That's where they're finishing at. And you know what? They're going to look at the situation again and say to themselves, well, Staley didn't have this, that, and the third. They'll fight to keep him there because he's cheap. When you got to restart with these coaches, you got to restart everything. And this turns into a bit of an issue. You know what I mean? Because now you see a lot of, it stops the flow. You know what I mean? So we'll wait till the end of the year. But I'm with you though, Jeff. If you're gonna fire